Welcome to Always Dolls, and thanks for joining us. Have you ever wondered what air-dry clay works best to make doll food? Is it better to buy an established brand or try a cheap, no-name brand from the dollar store? Well, today we compare 4 brands of air-dry clay to see how they perform when crafting American Girl doll food. Plus, we have a bonus craft showing you how to make doll pancakes. Hit the like button if you enjoy this video, subscribe and share to help our channel grow. For analysis, we have Little Maker, bought at Lincraft Fabric and Haberdashery Store, Model Magic from Officeworks, Fimo Air Light from Eckersley Art and Craft Supplies, and Daiso in-shop brand. I've created 6 categories for testing, the first being cost. Little Maker is the most expensive at 5 cents per gram. Model Magic is slightly better at 4 cents per gram, but due to our country's rounding up currency, we still pay the same as the first clay. Fimo Air Light was expensive to purchase but works out to 3 cents a gram, and Daiso Clay was an average price of 4 cents. Let's test how well these clays take colour with acrylic paint. Little Maker Clay does well, needing only a small amount of paint and some kneading to fully incorporate the colour. This brand is slightly tacky and stretchy, so there is no, if minimal, streaks in the mixed clay. Because it's so tacky, it does not dry out when making a new colour. Right out of the packet, Model Magic was drier, taking more effort to remove a small portion. The clay did have some stretch but would rip apart into clumps. I added the same amount of paint as before, then began kneading. Initially it still wanted to pull apart, but as the clay warmed with the heat of my hands, it did start to knead better. However, the colour wasn't as vibrant, needing another round of paint to achieve a light dough cream colour. Fimo Air Light Clay was dry to begin with, needing a spritz of water to get the colour mixing process going. It also helped to mist the clay whilst kneading for a streak-free blend. Our Daiso Clay is next. This brand is hit and miss, with this particular packet having super dry, crumbly clay. I needed to spray a lot of water before adding the paint. As a result, the mixing process was not pleasant. The damp clay wanted to stick to my fingers and smear the paint instead of absorbing it. But with more spritzes of water and a lot of patience, you can get the clay and colour to mix with minimal streaks. Here are our 4 colour mixed air dry clays and a brief summary of round 2 testing. For round 3, we need to make something. How about pancakes? Roll the clay to be about 1 centimetre in thickness. With a circle cutter or other plastic round object, punch out the pancake shape. The Little Maker clay wants to stick to the cutter, but it can be removed without too much warping of the circle shape. Model Magic clay rolls out smooth and even and is easy to cut with the cutter. Fimo Air Light rolled out okay, but splitting did occur at the edges of the sheet. This wasn't an issue for this project since the cutter is small and cut a clean circle from the centre of the clay. The Daiso clay just crumbled even with minimal pressure on the rolling pin. In the end, I used my fingers to clump it together to get the approximate thickness. This clay did cut well, but left residual clay on the cutter. To texture the pancakes, use a ball of aluminium foil for the top and a hard bristled brush to get at the sides. Little Maker starts off taking the texture but quickly loses the impression from the foil. Model Maker was great at grabbing texture and held the detail without change. Fimo took the texture well but would start to crumble if too much pressure was applied. A mist or 2 of water helped in this instance. Daiso Clay took the foil impression well but needed to be misted just like Fimo Air Light. Next, take a toothpick to make a line around the side to give the appearance of 2 pancakes stacked together. Little Maker Clay takes the impression line well, but unfortunately the groove does not stay as deep as originally made. Model Magic was easy to work with, but would collapse on itself if too much pressure was applied by my finger on top the pancake. Fimo had a subtle grainy texture during this step, which made dragging the toothpick not the best method. Daiso Clay was the same. So for these 2, I switched technique and would just press the tip of the toothpick into the edge, then lift and move to the next area. Now to wait for the clay to dry out. All except Fimo, as this is microwavable and will be set in 2 minutes. Here are the results of round 4. Daiso Clay was the next quickest to set, taking under 12 hours. Little Maker took a couple more, and Model Magic was the longest with a full 24-hour dry time. Each clay has some degree of shrinkage, but Fimo and Model Magic have the least. Lastly, let's see how well these clays do when painted. We like to use yellow ochre. Start by watering down the paint to do an overall coat front, back and sides. Next, come in with a more concentrated amount of yellow ochre in the folds between the pancakes. Cut a square of fun foam and paint yellow for the butter knob on top. Adhere to the pancake with liquid glue. Here are the results side by side on the comparison chart. You can seal all these clays with Mod Podge, Sculpey Gloss Sealant, or even liquid school glue. There you have it, a comparison of 4 different air dry clays. Each type works for this food craft with some adjustments made here and there to get the best result from each brand. We hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to Always Dolls and hit the bell icon so you get notified as soon as a new video drops. See you soon for more miniature crafting fun!